Hey everybody, this is Alzorath, and welcome back to Diablo 2. We are here with the final episode of Toasty 2, at least before we possibly move on to Nightmare. I need to move the heck away from that little area there. But as far as my thoughts on this particular character, don't want to die right off the bat as soon as I get in here. That wouldn't be too wise of me. Probably shouldn't have tried to tank the cows. But yeah, these guys are going to go down pretty quickly to our meteors. As long as the meteors land on them. Our mercenary totally bit the dust there. But as far as my thoughts on the Meteor Sorceress, it's actually a really powerful build, but, this is a big but, there's a lot of places in the game where it just isn't quite strong enough to, you know, hold its own. It's one of those things like, okay, it does a lot of fire damage, so it's really powerful against certain types of enemies, but, in say Act 4, where you noticed I had a lot of trouble with this build, it struggles a lot. So generally, this is a better kind of team player kind of build, where you're with a bunch of other players and they're able to either A, tank for you so your meteors can come down on top of them and protect them from enemies, or it's a good one with mixed elements, like say you have an ice source and a fire source together. The meteor is pretty powerful because the ice source will slow them down and the meteor will come in and destroy them. Now, as far as the cow level, main strategy here, hoard them up, get them into a nice little bundle, and then just start dropping meteors on them. It's the most effective way to kill them off. Obviously, it's not as good as, say, like a Javazon or something like that, but yeah, it knocks out a huge chunk of them for each and every meteor you drop. So, yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too bad to go through here. Even on players 8, you can do this tactic. It just takes a few more meteors to take them all down. Let's go and drop one there. See, they move relatively slow, so it's easy to get the target in on them. But the Meteor Sorceress, I honestly wouldn't recommend it towards like completely beginner players, but if you want to challenge and want to like practice your aim, definitely worth looking at. You can see the little fire burn is doing a little bit of work. There's Tancred's Bill. Kind of a junky thing. At least I think that one's going to be Tancred's Bill. I can check it real quick. I don't have the sets all memorized. I used to be able to tell you what it was before I even ever picked it up, but yeah, that's an entirely too much time spent in the game back in the day kind of thing. Boom. Goodbye. But I don't want to kill the Cow King, because if I do go into Nightmare, I do want to level up this. I think this one is the lowest level character we got through normal difficulty on. Yeah, there's Tancred's Crowbill. Kind of a piece of junk, but it was originally intended for Necromancers, I believe. But it's kind of weird because it's got like a bunch of things that don't work for Necromancer. It's really strange. It's one of the original sets, though, so let's go ahead and get these guys kind of bundled up. If you guys have any builds that you particularly want to see, I do have some requests from people for builds. I will be considering them in the near future. But if you have any requests for builds, be sure to mention them in the comments of any of the videos for Diablo. I check them. But I'll look at it and see about possibly doing a build in the future. I know that someone requested it on my actual channel discussion area, and it's like, I hardly ever get to see that. I was just surprised that I noticed it. Obviously, our Firebolt is exceptionally strong, and it'll only get stronger as we continue to level up, because Fireball boosts it, as well as Meteor, so you can get this up to a really respectable amount of damage for 2.5 mana, and just throw it over here on your left click, and it's pretty powerful. Firewall is probably a little bit more newbie friendly than Meteor, because it requires a little less aim, but it still does a lot of damage, especially whenever you get it boosted up with synergies and stuff like that, and it has a nice synergy with Warmth, which makes mana issues less of a problem. Obviously, casting timers can be a bit of a problem, because it's going to slow you down a little bit from like spamming the spell, so you do have to be a little bit careful with aim. I can show you guys Firewall. Let's go ahead and drop it right there. You can see it's not doing a ton of damage just right now, but it's doing enough that it's respectable. At high levels, the length of it increases as well as the damage per second, and you can cast it kind of on interesting tangents. Like if I wanted to hit both those guys, I'd run down here and cast it like that, and it'll go both directions, or you can cast it along their walk path, come up this way, and they'll walk along the entire length of it and die. It's not a bad spell. It's one of the... A lot of fire spells in this game are actually underestimated as far as their usefulness in various areas. It's just Act 4 tends to wreck the Fire Sorceress and pretty much any fire-based character, because they just can't do enough damage compared to any other character in that area. Even Ice Sorceresses do more damage in Act 4 than the Fire Sorceress. That's because the resistances. That's why I struggled against Diablo so much as well. Actually, I was under-leveled for Diablo, but that's an entirely different discussion. Static Field, very important. Honestly, if you're going for a proper build, you generally do want Static Field in the arsenal, because it's going to, at least at decent levels, it's going to reach enemies pretty far away and kill them off, or soften them enough that your weaker spells or resisted spells can actually kill the enemy. So let's go and bundle you guys up. Come on, moo 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 moo. I don't think I'm going to get any good drops in this video, just judging by my luck so far. But it would have been nice to get something exceptionally amazing, possibly like the Tal Rasha's amulet I got on the, I think it was the Druid that I got it on. But, yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead and kill the rest of these guys off. As far as online play, probably not going to be doing that in the very near future, but I do still plan on doing it. Possibly start joining the llama group and possibly trying to drop with them. I would say the make Diablo 2 great again, but there's so many things about that that kind of bother me. First of all, it's taking a Trump phrase, but make Diablo 2 great again has also for some reason been co-opted in kind of a weird fashion by a pretty shady YouTuber. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure whether I want to do that. As far as the origins of it, the make Diablo 2 great again thing was it was a mix of llama. Ooh, Thulrune. I actually got something decent. Llama's OP llama channel, which was you aren't able to farm those anymore. So make Diablo 2 great again kind of came from that, but it got kind of adopted by Extimus or Zitimus. But whatever. Not a fan of Zitimus. He's got an ego greater than mine, which is to say something, because I'm not necessarily a narcissist, but yeah, I am a Gemini, a cliche Gemini. And I do my own YouTube channel, so I have a little bit of that kind of tendency, I guess. I don't know. Let's go ahead and kill these guys. But anyway, that's been the Sorceress season. I'm going to still try to record all the cinematics and make up just a video of just the cinematics and reference it on these videos, but I currently have not done that. I don't feel right monetizing that because it's just a video of cinematics. So it's going to be probably unlisted. And yeah, let's go ahead and nuke these guys. I'm trying to think if I'm forgetting anything other than the fact that pollen is crazy right now, so I have a little bit of the sniffles. You might notice that in my video. But yeah, I'm not thinking there's anything else I missed. This kind of sorceress, oddly enough, something that just kind of came off on a mental tangent here. This kind of sorceress works well with the bow sorceress build. Bow sorceress being a kind of niche build that uses really strange equipment to do a lot of damage. You want Fire Mastery, you want a Kuko Shikaku with Neff. That's going to give it knockback. It already has piercing and exploding arrows. You want a bunch of fire charms, fire damage charms, because those will boost, at least they used to, I don't know if they still do, boost the radius of the explosive arrows, which is kind of an interesting thing. And so you can wipe the cow level really, really fast, and you still have Meteor to back it up. So it's really kind of an amazing thing to see in action. If it doesn't work in this version, I might have to like roll back to an old version of the game and try to show that off there. I don't have a Kuko Shikaku though, so I'm gonna have to probably farm for that. There are ways to get it through different like hacks like Gemellas and stuff like that, but I don't know how. I don't have access to an item library or anything like that, so you can't really just bring them in unless you have it on a character or want to try to craft it from scratch, which crafting it from scratch, not something I'm going to do. I don't use those kind of things in my normal runs, and I don't even have it installed right now. I used to use it to test builds way back in the day, but yeah, it was just one of those things that was interesting back in the day, but I don't really want to be arsed with now, especially considering that there's a high chance of getting viruses with stuff like that, so not really interested. The only place that I would download Gemellas from would probably be like NDDB or something like that, but even then it's kind of like maybe, maybe not. What's his circle? He's going to give us 50 poison damage over 5 seconds. That's absolutely useless. But anyway, keep gaming, have fun, peace out. This has been Alzorath. Very short episode right now. It's like 10 minutes long, but cow level is not going to be that long, and I'm kind of just taking my time here. Probably could have cleared it much, much faster. Ow. Don't whack me in the face. There you go. But yeah, like I said, keep gaming, have fun, peace out. This has been Alzorath, and I'll see you guys on the next run-through of Diablo 2. Bye.